Americans of Reddit, what would you do if the United States were invaded? So anyway, I started blasting. Probably work from home that day. Traffic would be a bitch. Watch all the tax dollars I have paid for the past 20 years go to work. Get Florida man hopped up on bath salts and let him run rampant through the enemy lines. It'd be like watching a crazed Wendigo tear people limb from limb. We'd still be going to work, because when it's over, rent is still due at the first of the month and food doesn't buy itself. I know I'm probably a little biased here, but we're essentially defended on both sides by mountains and angry rednecks who have spent multiple generations hoping and praying someone would be dumb enough to attack. Surely not worried about invaded. Definitely worried about divided. I wouldn't be worried. Not even the US government can control the US. I doubt anyone else could. I would watch Red Dawn and get some tips on what to do from C. Thomas Howell. Americans, what is something a non-American needs to know if he visits USA? Fast food burgers are not as appealing as shown in the ads. If you get pulled over by the cops, do not get out of the car unless they tell you to. People like to say hi to you. You can say hi back. German friend said he really likes this about USA. The US is huge. Don't expect to land in NYC and be able to drive to the Grand Canyon or Florida within a day. It certainly can be done, but it really is a great distance. Tipping at restaurants is also a very American thing. Remember, taxes are also added to the sticker price for things. Theory and practical applications of quantum mechanics. It is a big place. You can drive all day and still be in the same state. People have a relatively large personal space circle. Non-metric measurements. Know how much a gallon, pound, mile etc. is, as well as Fahrenheit. How do we know we all see the same colors? We have no way of knowing, as everything we experience through our senses is subjective. The YouTube channel Vsauce made a great video explaining this exact concept. Vsauce, is your red the same as my red? We don't. Well, first off, we don't. Color blindness is extremely common, and it's very common for people to not even realize they're color blind. Secondly, we know what colors the average human can see by counting the color receptors in the human eye. Same way we tell what colors animals can see. We can never be 100% sure if we do, in fact, see the same colors. Do some research on the concept of qualia, the philosophical idea that we may never know if the subjective experiences we have are really the same. I think paintings would look pretty wild if we did. If someone wrote a book about your life, what would the first sentence be? In the beginning, God created this fucking moron. Strap in, dickheads. Giving someone all your love will not make them love you back. He never believed this and suffered with his broken heart. Shit, that happened to this guy. Nuding intensifies was born 10 weeks premature. It was the only time they were ever early for an event in their life. She wasn't supposed to be alive, yet here she is. It was the best of times. It was the blurriest of times. Life is shit, remember that. The very boring story of a person who likes to think and dream instead of do. Once upon a time there was a famous person whom no one knows. It all went downhill around the time I was born. On January the 25th, 1994, oh yes, it was born. This had made many people very angry and has been widely regarded as a bad move. Well, here we go. Bob. No, this wasn't his name. If the afterlife is real, what celebrity is definitely going to heaven? Dolly Parton, Mr. Rogers, Keanu Reeves. You'd hope Robin Williams is there. The dog that played Air Bud, Chadwick Boseman, definitely Bob Ross. Dolly, Betty White, Brendan Fraser, Danny DeVito, Gary Sinise, Keanu Reeves. No Robin Williams? Jesus Christ, guys. Jack Black, Mr. Beast. Doesn't anyone just get sick of seeing Reddit answer these questions with the same names ever? I knew opening up the thread Keanu would be the top answer, followed by Dolly lol. Jimmy Swaggart, Jesus Christ. Tom Hanks, David Attenborough. Not a single celebrity. I guess ones that went broke based on what Jesus said about rich people getting into heaven. Danny Glover, Morgan Freeman, 'cause he is God. Mr. Rogers, Bob Barker, Barry Manilow, Betty White. None. Jamie Foxx. If the internet suddenly disappeared today, what are going to miss? Having my random questions answered the second I think them. AO3. I will be without a job. Will probably lose my income, my job, some friends, Wikipedia and porn. Reddit. Googling who's in the movies and shows I watch and other random questions. Cat videos. Reading questions from other people on Reddit. Interaction. Pornhub. Knowing how to do things. Having a job. The internet. Email. YouTube. I need background stimulation. I play videos while drawing or playing video games, doing chores, schoolwork, etc., and I love it. Talking to my long-distance partner. Falling down the Wikipedia rabbit hole after having an edible. Online shopping. You guys duh. I gonna miss those horny MILFs in my area. Disappointed face. Wikipedia. Stack Overflow. If you could steal 1/10 of a second from everyone's life, you'd get 25 extra years. Would you do this, and why or why not? Most definitely. None of them are going to miss a tenth of a second, but I'll sure as hell notice an extra 25 years. No thanks, I am 54, I have had enough. If I could steal the years and give them to others then maybe. But for myself. Nope lol, I'm stressed enough as it is. Yes, because stealing is cool and fun. I don't want 25 extra years thanks. I'm taking more than just a tenth. Add days to my life? No way. No, I donate mine. I'm struggling with the damn time I already have. Can I take 25 years from everyone else's life and only gain a tenth of a second instead? Fuck no, I'm trying to die sooner not later. If you had the power to shut down a company for good, which company would it be? Nestle is a good choice, but it would sure be nice to see Facebook wither away to nothing. The Church of Scientology, Shine, Herbalife, Ticketmaster, Live Nation, Nestle, bye bye Nestle. You won't be missed. Vadim's tire shop next door. Fuck you and your lower prices Vadim. BlackRock. Everything starts here. Nestle. Good to see everyone is on the anti-Nestle train. The Koch Foundation. Citadel and other companies like it. Ticketmaster. No explanation needed. John Deere right now with the tractor software bullshit stopping farmers fixing their equipment. If I need I harvest today before rain. I don't have time for an service appointment. Nice try, Elon. Take care of Twitter first before looking for the next victim. Meta. It is possible to commit no mistakes, and still lose. Jean-Luc Picard. What is the ultimate embodiment of this? Health nut friend of mine that died of stage 4 lung cancer at age 28. There's a lot of this in war. Armchair generals love to tell you that X-leader was an idiot because he lost, but a lot of the times that leader made the correct decision with the information they had available, and it's not always an indication of bad intelligence either. Some motherfuckers are just crazy and do things that no sane person would do, so no reasonable person expects them to do it. Non-Christians of Reddit, what do you think of Christmas? It's a lot of fun. It's literally just the pagan holiday of Yule with Christian mythology copy-pasted on some parts. Literally all the traditions except for the nativity scene are from pre-Christian pagan culture. So I see no contradiction with my heathen self enjoying the fuck out of the holiday. Devout atheist here. I absolutely love Christmas, not the God thing. I don't believe any of that. I love the lights, decorations, and shopping for just the right gift. I love to cook the huge Christmas dinner for my family. I love all of our family traditions. To me, Christmas is about family. I personally don't associate Christmas with Christianity. I love the lights, gift giving, and spending time with family around Christmas. That's all that matters to me. Money-making season. On a scale from 1 to infinity, how sick of hearing about Elon and or Twitter are you? Infinity 1. I feel like every day now when I come on Reddit, I hide at least half the things on the front page of our popular because it's all just Elon, Elon, Elon. For not liking the guy, they sure do seem awfully willing to give him all the attention he wants. It's fun once a day and once a sub, but inevitably everyone posts about him. Why can't we pay attention to people who aren't scumbags? Is there something beyond infinity? Just tell me when it'll go bankruptcy. It's bit tiring, but he's also releasing important information about very questionable practices of Twitter which everyone should be interested in. That's more important than worrying about political parties or the fact your ideas don't align with his. I just think people are focused on the wrong things and blinded by political ideologies. Somewhere around infinity 10? Like a 10. Very. Redditors who had a spouse pass away, how did you move on? Serious. If you find out, let me know. My wife passed in January and I thought I was doing fairly well. Maybe it's the holidays or coming up to the 1-year anniversary of her passing, but this month I am in a daze. Life doesn't seem to have a purpose without her. Was my girlfriend from a decade. And it was hard. You just learn to accept it. But you feel the loss often. My husband caught cancer and passed during COVID times. This was just last year. We had been together for 30 years. I barely even make it from one day to the next. I'm struggling and feel like I've nothing to offer or live for. I was recently prescribed happy pills, so I'm gonna try that and see what happens. To Americans who are against free healthcare. Why? The funny thing is, because some states in the US require health insurance, we already do pay for universal healthcare, only at a much higher rate, and through private industry. People just don't realize it. I feel like a lot of people in this thread taking the word free and healthcare too literally. ITT Redditor answers question. Downvoted, told why they are wrong by other Redditors, quite a few who are non-American. Because they don't want their taxes to increase. Because they don't believe it's their responsibility to pay for someone else's medical problems. Because they don't trust their government to manage it. Probably cause our government is notorious for handling things poorly. Also cause it would most likely be reversed when someone else takes over. To them all Santas that may be on Reddit. What is the weirdest thing a child has said to you? I rap presents a few years and the Santa liked to tell me stories. Let me recall someone. The little girl who asked if Santa could help return her new baby brother 2. The twin boys who both asked if they could have separate gifts this year 3. A little boy who just really wanted a banana. During college, I was a store Santa. The memory that most stands out was that of a little girl who whispered in my ear that the thing she wanted most for Christmas was a boyfriend for mommy because ever since daddy died she was sad and lonely. As I once described on AskReddit, I glanced over and saw her pretty mother standing there with a smile, but also with tears in her eyes. Mom had no idea what her thoughtful daughter had just asked of Santa. Do you only want to hear from mall Santas, or will any professional Santa do? YTF, are there no Santas on Reddit? What activities do you hate that the majority of people seem to enjoy? Watching TV shows or movies. I just can't sit still to focus without wanting to get up and do something else or falling asleep. Being a full-time douche. I've always hated dancing. I don't know why. Getting drunk or high. Watching TV, sit-down meals, and going to the pub. Yes, I'm British. Yes, you can revoke my citizenship. I can think of a million other things to do than just sitting there. Watching cutscenes and gaming. Eating food. Especially when I am stressed. It's like my throat closes up. Recently learned this is called ARFID. Seriously, given the option to eat nothing but nutrition pills for the rest of my life, I would cry with relief. Socializing, dancing and singing. Visiting historical places in the US. I'm from the US but I find the history embarrassing in general, and it's not old enough to be cool. What are the must-have Chrome extensions? uBlock Origin, uBlock Origin block ads, malicious code, junk code taking up processes, return YouTube dislikes, see downvotes again. Very useful for DIY videos. Sponsor block, this skips in video sponsor segments on YouTube. I tried to sit through ad reads to help them out, but too many of them are too long and done with zero creativity. Read aloud for my dyslexic ass. It's very helpful to read long passages in school or Reddit stories. Download Firefox. I still see people not using adblock plugins and all I wonder is how these people have survived for this long. Edit this cookie. Dark Reader and uBlock Origin. Reese for old Reddit. Grammarly. Get rid of Chrome and get something different is a pretty good one I got a few years ago. The exhaust pipes that come out on each side, in front of the rear wheel well. Chrome forever. What do you have an irrational hatred for? People who make politics their identity. People smacking while eating. Sheesh, I don't know how some of y'all actually even enjoy it with the ASMR stuff. Blackberry bushes. Those fuckers are sentient and sadistic. Apple, the tech company. Chewing sounds. Bean sprouts. Everyone says it's just like crunchy water but I despise them with a fiery passion. Drivers who don't use their turn signals when changing lanes. The goddamned thing is literally right behind the wheel. You have to move one finger, and every time you use it you increase the chances of not causing a 27-car pileup by 9,000. Why is that so hard to grasp for some? Ketchup on eggs. Ink printers. I immediately start raging at those bastards because I know they sense my fear and patience limits, so they do things horrifically to spite me. They can probably break the Turing test. What do you think is likely to happen in 2023? The sun will rise, and set at least 364 times. Inflation and prices of key food staples decrease globally, albeit not to pre-Ukraine war levels. Socio-political tensions rise in U.S. as presidential elections approach. New, dominant presidential contenders surface for both Republicans DeSantis and Democrats. No sense of who, but I suspect a challenger to Biden. I'll probably find my husband and get married finally, smiling face with hearts. Everyone is going to be chill. I hope that the war in Ukraine will end. It will probably be the hottest year on record. Fun fact: the 7 hottest years on record have happened since 2015. People eventually making guesses about 2024. End of the war in the Ukraine. At this point it's really anyone's guess. Fire, famine, flood, planch. What's left? What is a subtle sign that someone is really intelligent? The ability to explain a complex concept with simple words. They're willing to say I don't know instead of trying to act like they know everything. They aren't on Reddit. They're able to form an opinion based on information that they've gone through and understood, rather than something they were shown and took as their own. Slow speaking. It's really strange. I knew this guy in the university who talked really fucking slow. At first, I actually thought he might have some sort of learning disability or even had some type of head trauma or something. Very quickly, though, it became apparent when listening to what he was saying. For one, this guy was hard to be talking about incredibly complicated things at a very slow pace. Really strange. They use grey poop on mustard. Silence. References to goblins in their usernames. That they don't try to show off knowledge, but when called for are never wanting. What is an American thing but Americans think everyone outside of America does it? Drinking root beer. My Brazilian friend told me they do not drink that, as it is the flavor of their toothpaste. Having the waiter take your credit card at a restaurant. Most other countries bring the machine to you so you can pay at the table and at least reduce the risk of having your credit card information stolen. The over-the-top customer service attitude. On a trip abroad, my wife thought that she upset the waiter somehow because he was generally neutral in his interaction. It was generally neutral because it was a generally neutral interaction. No need for that customer service attitude. I thought PBJ sandwiches was a worldwide phenomenon as a kid. Hospitals connected to specific insurances and you having to make sure you go to the right one. How do you even do that after a car crash? What is an opinion of yours that goes against the consensus of Reddit's hive mind? Get divorced is not always the solution. I really enjoyed the Hobbit movies. Yes, I read the books. I know they aren't accurate. They were enjoyable and helped me get my kids interested in LOTR. It's not us versus them. Emotional eating isn't inherently unhealthy. Food can be a source of nutrition and comfort. It's only unhealthy when it's used as chronic escapism. Enjoy your little stress snack in peace. You actually do have obligations to your family. Not everything needs to be posted on the internet. Post your edgy opinions and get upvoted for it. Mass migration doesn't work. What is one brand that you'll never buy from? The ones that constantly pay YouTube channels to do spots for them. It just makes me very suspicious of their quality. Raycon is a good example. Herbalife. Those mean girls from high school that now have a company on Facebook. It's usually simple decals or makeup. Mary Kay, Pampered Chef, LuLaRoe, doTERRA Oils, Young Living Oils, Norwex, It Works etc. Any and all of the MLMs. Acme. I've seen documentaries on how their product hurt coyotes. Any MLM company. Huawei mostly because they are banned in the US. Dollskill. Yeah, they have cool clothes but I don't like the company. Anything Kardashians. Jenner. Gerber. DKNY after she supported Harvey Weinstein. Any brand made by the Kardashian Jenners. Shine. Nestle. All my homies hate Nestle. What is so ridiculously overpriced, yet you still buy? Groceries. Concessions at sporting events. As much as I try my best to eat before I go and resist the urge to buy beer when I am there, some days, seeing others enjoying their beer and food snacks make me say F it and I indulge too. Right now? Cars, at least in my area. Brand new cars are few and far between. And it's not unusual to see used cars with prices 10k to 12k above what the price was a year and a half ago. It's insane. Pretty much all the things I need to stay alive. Warhammer 40k minis, razor refills, rent, health insurance, medical supplies, insulin. What is the best video game in your opinion? Half-Life. For its time it absolutely broke the mold. BioShock. Been chasing the high of that big plot twist in the first game ever since. RDR2. The story, the immersiveness, the way you could really make the world your own. I don't think a story mode on any game ever had me as emotionally invested as that game. GTA San Andreas, Castle Crashers, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Nothing has ever hit me as hard as that game did. The rest of the Metal Gear games would be up there too. MGSV was what made me truly aware of my mental health struggles and gave me the strength, the courage and the will to deal with them. Those games saved me, and if I'm being blunt I don't think I'd be here today if I didn't find them. Burnout 3 Takedown, Portal 2, Factorio, Witcher 3, by leagues. Redefined RPG games for me. Crash Bandicoot 1 PS1. What is the most important quality a person can possess? Empathy. Person should possess empathy for others to connect and understand them. Kindness, honesty, humility, integrity, learning from their mistakes. Empathy. The ability to shut up when you don't have anything to say. I suppose empathy and kindness are two sides of the same coin. Honesty is super important too. But honesty without any kind of empathy or softness is only going to hurt. Self-reflection, kindness, empathy, honesty, funny, kind, self-awareness, love, compassion, kindness and respectfulness, compassion, empathy, humility, integrity. Empathy is second I think. Integrity beats it. I don't think you could even have integrity without empathy being a side effect, come to think of it. Integrity, critical thinking, listening, open-mindedness, humility. What is your favorite quote from The Simpsons? You tried your best and you failed miserably. The lesson here is never try. I have 3 kids and no money. Why couldn't I have no kids and 3 money? And another why'd I have to slap a guy that says Sue? Okay brain, I don't like you, and you don't like me. So let's just do this thing so we can get back to slowly killing you with beer. Sex Cauldron? I thought they shut that place down. Seymour, the house is on fire. No mother. It's just the northern lights. He ate all of our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters. Never never, Marge, I can't live the button-down life like you. I wanted all the terrifying lows, the dizzying highs, the creamy middles. Sure, I might offend a few of the blue noses with my cocky strident musky odors. Oh, I'll never be the darling of the so-called city fathers who cluck their tongues, stroke their beards, and talk about what's to be done with this Homer Simpson? What job is guaranteed to get you laid? Working as a waiter or bartender in a tourist resort adds at least 2 points to your attractiveness. Source: I'm a mediocre man who used to spend summers working in a tourist resort. The guy who unstucks people from under the couch, dishwasher, fridge, coffee table, washing machine, etc. Prostitute. Singer in a band. There are a lot of ugly MFRs getting laid that wouldn't get the time of day off it weren't for being on a band. Think Mick Jagger or Steven Tyler. Edit: I forgot Kid Rock. He'd be selling meth in the alley behind a 7-Eleven instead of sleeping with porn stars. Cocaine dealer. Here to confirm that I'm in the wrong job. Forklift operator. Surgeon. Especially heart surgeon. But surgeons in genera. I work with these dickheads and let me tell you, the ugliest, most awkward guys still get tons of girls. Fireman, surgeon, professional athlete. What joke is starting to get old now? Not the X we deserve but the X we need, or whatever it is. For every single damn thing. Your mom jokes. They're old and they've been done by pretty much everyone. Just like your mom. You working hard or hardly working? Who asked? The whole no one has been old for years but idiots still think it's funny. Spontaneous funny situations that are clearly staged. The I hate my spouse jokes. Nobody thinks it funny if someone is miserable in your marriage, and you just come off as an ass. Your mom is old now. Did I ask? Asking about cars extended warranty. Menstruation jokes. Period. People still eat pesto? People still own CDs? People still watch Saturday Night Live? People still have Twitter accounts? Etc. Sir, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Overused to death, and many times I see it doesn't even work as a response. What movie would you like to see? Muppetized? Pulp Fiction. John Wick. I think Les Miserables would work, and despite the subject matter, played with to be made funny. Godfather. Fozzie Bear. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. 9.5 Weeks. The Breakfast Club. Die Hard. Lord of the Rings. Demolition Man. With the same actors providing voices when able. All the movies. Pink Flamingos. Harry Potter. Puppet Pals was great. A full adaptation has the potential be interesting to say the least. 7. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Reservoir Dogs. Fritz the Cat. Debbie Does Dallas. Midsummer. Boogie Nights. Predator. The Thing. 1982. I Want to See Muppet McCready. Twilight. All Quiet on the Western Front. Titanic. Die Hard. Apocalypse Now. With Fozzie as Kurtz. The Horror. The Horror. Waka Waka. Muppet Centipede. What prematurely cancelled television not named Firefly do you love? Freaks and Geeks. Terra Nova. Pushing Daisies. The Dark Crystal. Age of Resistance. American Gods. Jericho for sure. Better Off Dead. Mindhunter. Technically not cancelled, but nothing's coming anytime soon. My Name is Earl. Dead Like Me. Better Off Dead. Santa Clarita Diet. Stargate Universe. Sure, it took them an inordinate amount of episodes to get remotely good, but they were heading the right way, and I think a third and fourth season would have turned that shit show around. Terminator. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Timeless. I am not okay with this. On a cliffhanger too. A little more obscure, but they cancelled Morel Earl when it was starting to get really good. Dead Like Me. Arrested Development not counting the reboot a decade later. Ugly Americans. You know, the one where the poster got banned by Ahmad. Party Down. Rome. Hannibal. What screams I'm a bad parent? Blaming your own mistakes and regrets on your kids. Using children as pawns in divorces or separations. Treating your kid as your therapist. Never saying sorry to the kid when the parents make a mistake. You're the reason I'm stuck with your father. Sure, mom. Sure. I'd if this really screams it, but I absolutely hate when adults tell other adults their children's shameful secrets for no reason. Even strangers. It tells me those children probably don't feel like they can trust their parents. Demeaning your children as means of punishment. Yelling at the kid for every trivial thing. Making your child think they aren't good enough. Using them as props gain for your YouTube channel. What song requires an immediate increase in volume as soon as you hear it? Dancing Mother. Zombie by the Cranberries. Creep by Radiohead. Loser by Beck. Metallica. Sad But True. Cause every time we touch I get this feeling. Every time Walk by Pantera comes on. Volume turned way up the moment that song comes on. Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen Beer. Real Big Fish. Chop Suey. Sot. Come On. Eileen. Dexys. Midnight Runners. Sabotage. Beastie Boys. Battle Cries. The Amazing Devil. There's a ton more, but I haven't had caffeine yet, so my brain isn't on. Sabotage. Beastie Boys. Bulls on Parade. Rage Against the Machine. Ace of Spades. Thunderstruck. AC/DC. Bohemian Rhapsody. Immigrant Song. Led Zeppelin. Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Fat Bottomed Girls. Carry On My Wayward Son. Kansas. Zed Clarity. More Than a Feeling by Boston. What would be a good name for a pig? I had a pig named Piggy Azalea. Swiney Todd. Chief Wiggum. Napoleon. Not illegal outside of France that I'm aware of. Our neighbor's constantly escaping pig's name is Piggy Smalls. Man Bear. Oink. Has anyone said Waddles yet? Floyd. Walter. Henone. Babe. Kevin. Hamlet. Crispy. Bacon or like Gus. Wilbur. Waddles. My favorite pig from my favorite cartoon. Harry Plopper. Peter Porker. Piggy McPigface. Wilbur. Smithfield. Or Arnold edit commas. My friend named his pig the Notorious P. IG and I never need to hear another name for a pig. Biggest Piggus. I worked for an animal rescue for a few years and one day we got a small piglet in who was named Hamlet instantly. It was a no-kill rescue. He will never be eaten but it wasn't as a cute name. John Ham. Bubbles. Reuben. Arnold's wife. Peppa. What would happen if everyone on Earth were to jump at the same time? Wolves would bite you. You specifically. We would dodge the giant asteroid. A fair number of humans wouldn't jump because fake news. Everyone on Earth would jump at the same time. The Earth would crack apart. Only people living on Antarctica would survive. Nothing. But it wouldn't happen anyway because there will always be at least one bored-looking hipster sitting in the corner who is just too cool to be jumping. Nothing. Vsauce made a proper video on this. A lot of blown ACLs, and fractured hips. China would come alive, or something. I've read about this whilst high. Everyone would have jumped at the same time on Earth. XKCD to the rescue. Global warming would reverse. Nothing. That's like asking what would happen if you threw a handful of sand at the Empire State Building and all the grains hit at TESRMATME. A bunch of elevators would stop working. Would you kill someone to protect your dog? I would kill a person to protect someone else's dog. Don't fuck with dogs. No question. Chances are they'll break their necks tripping over the fat little cannonball. Let's just say I have a lot of pencils. I would kill a dog to protect someone. Everyone in here who says they would kill someone for their dog without hesitation or no questions asked is fucked in the head. A lot of the comments here are filled with armchair warriors. Completely delusional. Depends on the context. What did the person or dog do? I value human life over a dog's life. If the dog was attempting to take the life of the human, no, I wouldn't protect it. The human would be completely justified in their attempt to take the dog's life in self-preservation. Your age is now backwards X. 2112. What's the first thing you do? 44. Same thing I'm doing now. 1881 damn retire I guess. 33 I don't like this game. I'm going back to being depressed. Shit myself. 2882 I'd fucking die. I'm 22, so yeah. Back to my Friday evening nap lol. Cries in 33. And what would your name be if you combined your street name and mother's maiden name? Nothing since I'm still 22. Celebrate making it to 99. 52. Buy a flashy expensive car and get a bunch of stupid tattoos because I was too scared to live how I wanted to when I was younger. I'd be 13 so I guess I would ride my bike to the gas station to buy full throttle energy drinks and fruity Tootsie Rolls to go home and sit on my basement couch while playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. At 31 now, that sounds like the dream.